afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. We are off here to an exciting 1 versus 1 here on Somoski. We shall be watching on one side Storm Tiger Gaddafi fighting here for the Soviet Union and the glory of Comrade Stalin. Fighting here for the 5th Guards Tank Corps, rolling ahead here versus the Germans lines held here by GenObi. Fighting for the Reich, for the Wehrmacht. Taking up positions here under the command of the, let's just say, Fallschirmpanzerdivision Hermann Göring. 2 pioneers up by the here versus the Soviets. A very sort of interesting start. That's usually more what I personally expect versus the Americans, but no, he's actually going versus the Russians. That's actually pretty interesting. He's thus hoping to sort of maybe outcap his Russian opponent. He's also going to have a slight advantage in that due to the fact that he's set up immediately a special rifle command here, and then of course going for a conscript, of course sort of following up there, but still sneaky following up. So there's a slight sort of accidentally actually going for a bit of advantage there and actually having it. MD42 then sort of arriving to follow up here, so likely he'll sort of try to take more ground and then of course try to sort of cover it, partially at least, with the MD42. Also looks like he's sort of trying to secure the centre here of the map, giving up the flanks it would seem initially. Commanders are by the way got motor and lead shot rifle. GenObi here has gone straight on for encirclement, which also for example allows him men to sort of sprint around if he so wanted, or for that matter the MD42 to the front line. Schnell, Dieter, sprint, but I've eaten too much sauerkraut before we went to the battle. Ah, you stupid idiot. Well, there we go, following up with a rather heavy Strafniki start here for Gaddafi. Usually formed of whatever criminals they sort of felt like were it. They were generally used as assault troops and were in that respect actually generally sort of well equipped if they were. I mean, they could also be used, for example, for clearing out mines, in which case they were not so well equipped, or for that matter, even if they were used as a diversion, then they'd also be pretty poorly equipped. So, I mean, it could sort of vary basically on whatever their mission was. They were basically seen as being, well, very expendable. So, a little sort of fun fact there. They're arriving for GenObi. MD42, they're holding up the conscripts of the church. Flank those going to be a bit exposed. Then we could see, there we go. Looks like Gaddafi's already smelling blood. Going to sneak about here with the Strafniki, and it's from the MT42. And he's dealing with the commies as well. And there we go. No, he's even not even bothering with that. He's sitting in clear sight, just moving through the cemetery. That's ballsy right there. Could maybe spin it back. The MT42 just pulls it back a bit. They're setting up once more. Guys might want to occupy the building at the very least and sort of make things a bit more difficult. Right here, though, it's not looking good for the pioneers. They're quickly losing up men there. And there we go. Constantly doing a quick ride. He's quickly up in the position to sort of cover there. And then he's following up with a mortar. Sort of rather peculiar start there for GenObi. Strafniki being held down. And no taking up there. No Molotovs or anything. That means actually noting a second cut squad there for Gaddafi. And there you go. The pioneers were forced away with heavy casualties. Only poor Yuri lost his life in that battle. And we actually see even the MD42 has been fought back. Not a strong start here. Then sort of following up for GenObi as Gaddafi lends a heavy Soviet hand upon him. Now there's only Grenadiers left. The mortar's probably going to try and set up and try and support, but it's going to be a bit tricky there and a bit risky for GenObi. His men are going to be bleeding out noticeably. No commander chosen here by Gaddafi. Mortar round going off, and Dimitri had his, well, innards pulped. Well, the Grenadiers are not going to hold up much longer, and there we go. Forced away, forced to retreat. Another Strafniki found himself rather dead or dying. But at the same time, he's still, despite this, GenObi's still getting a lot of territory. And he's actually, there we go, sprinting up the MD42 to quickly sort of advance up, and Grenadiers as well. Quick tactical sprint. Running, by the way, as they were trained, 2 German infantry which was with 1 rifle in the hand. Little fun fact there. Bunker up there, so there's medic bunker. And we're also seeing a Flammenwerfer here on the way for GenObi. At the same time, over here, seeing a bit of harassment going on versus him. Back into the town or village. So far, Gaddafi not apparently expected this, and so will be a bit open here. And now we're seeing a much larger force coming in here from GenObi with a Molotov. Molotovs, not a mortar-top, that's silly. Molotovs are now prepared though, and he does manage to sort of stop the pioneers a bit, but they just quickly flank about. Then we got the MD42 as well, Grenadiers Granaten they're also setting up here to bombard the Russian positions. And all of a sudden the position here for Gaddafi in the center is looking a bit more risky. In particular, he's done nothing to say some much sort of fortify things there. So he's in a slight pickle. And we know he's actually switching over to a support them coming up pretty rapidly there. Interesting, interesting. Mortar moving up to secure the point, while further troops advancing to the village. All the guns got ready there. A bit quiet otherwise. And there we go. Gaddafi senses a chance here, having realised most of the forces are here or there. So he goes straight here for the fuel point. Well played, well played. A nice little bit of harassment there. That could certainly further slow fuel down there for GenObi and give Mr. Gaddafi here some time to sort of create a breathing space and sort of get back his opponent. So not a bad idea there, but in the meanwhile though, GenObi continues to further secure the village. He could lay down some mines or some barbed wire to make an advance into the village a lot more unpleasant for Gaddafi. Meanwhile though, the fuel point is being lost here. There's no serious response here so far. Alright, there we go, gunners, pioneers being sent in from each the different angle. Pioneers getting shot down there. Not looking too healthy. Troops enforcing rebuilding. Granatenwerfer. Werfen zur Granaten. Quick Molotov there, but the Pioneers definitely dodge it. Allowing one further troops and there you go. He almost got the fuel point there. So he's going to delay the fuel income a bit there for his opponent. So that's good news there for Gaddafi. Good news for Gaddafi. Less good news there for GenObi. And there you go, Stormtroopers out, Stoßtruppen. Elite troops of the Hermann Göring Fallschirmpanzerdivision. Later expanded into a full corps. And later then then a Fallschirmpanzerdivision and a Fallschirmpanzergrenadierdivision. Little fun facts there. Generally well equipped, in particular with flak weaponry, due to of course the influence of Hermann Göring and the Luftwaffe. So a little fun fact there. Fought well in North Africa, later on Italy, and then the Eastern Front. Albeit there's one very fun thing, it had a extremely large replacement and training battalion. In fact, it was formed a part of the coastal defences in Holland, and so was pretty much for a replacement and training regiment or battalion about the same size as an infantry division. Sort of a little weird fact there. Well, there you go, he's acting up, he's sprinting away again there. I mean, that also makes it a bit easier for the MG42 tactics, they're a bit survivable. But in this case, he actually triggered it a bit too quickly, so, I mean, it doesn't help, set them up faster. Because, that's not how sprinting works. But right there, the nice flank here by Gaddafi's. The stormtroopers here continue to shoot away. That's a Kar-98Ks. Fighting versus the Russian hordes. And there we go, Stravniki and a Maxim near arriving, so adding self-support bombs now to his forces as well. He could consider adding a mortar of his own or maybe a field gun, but a rather sort of reasonably heavy presence there for the tier 1. Still no commander here from Gaddafi. Once more, GenObi's by been pushed out of the village. They seem to have slightly fall back here, at least to sort of the outskirts. Establishing a defense around this house here. Not uncommon, not uncommon. Mortar MG42 recruiting. Territory shifting hands quite a bit here at the moment. Stormtroopers being reinforced here.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
Maxim joining in the fun there, opening up the building. There we go, we'll soon have support bombs up, which is going to make it a bit difficult here for Gaddafi to keep up his pressure, since he's going to be, well, an easy target here for the Granatenwerfer. Interesting enough, he did not try to close up here with a flamethrower and, burn them out. But now going in for the MG42, we're going to catch fire. And there we go, just lots of fire. Oh, just horribly dying. An utter massacre right there. I think that was a bit of a bad decision there by Gaddafi. He read the situation incorrectly. There got another Stormtrooper squad quickly infiltrating. Sneaking up behind the Russians and opening up on those Maxim gunners. Quickly gunning them down. Then after their fault lines, we've got pressure Maxim. Maxim, they're lost. Another Strafnik unit on the way. Still no sign of a commander here. Wonder what Gaddafi could be thinking. Over here to GenObi, who has teched upwards here. By the way, it seems like he's skipping. skipping. The lighter mechanized company. Not uncommon to see that. He might try to use the stormtroopers just in case some early vehicles arrive there for the Panzerschrecks. The so far he seems to have not seen it. Going set for some Sturmgewehrs. Of course, he might have already deducted, and that could certainly be the idea again. That Gaddafi is going for the rather usual common Soviet metagame, which is, you know, go for doctrinal, which in fact is becoming a bit too increasingly common, and which, of course, then is also become a bit more sort of counter. So in that regard, you know, there might be things then, of course, in that regard, he's setting up his stormtroopers then to punish Gaddafi's infantry heavily, permanently. Mine's going up here on the by the crossroads, not quite on the crossroads there, but still not bad, not bad. Could we be seeing some support armor corps going up soon enough? Gaddafi though needs to sort of put his forces together for sort of a stronger push. He's in a bit of trouble there. He's sort of a bit shifting around here and there. He might want to sort of try to grab around the village rather than sort of constantly trying to go through it. And he's also left his field gun a bit far out there with no cover. Looks like mine up there, mine up there. Interesting, interesting. There you go, field gun in trouble. Maximum in to save the day, and Pioneers are not having the best of days. Support McCall, they're almost up here for GenObi. He could also consider upgrading some of his guns with a light machine gun, or I suppose him upgrading for another set of assault rifles to be handed out for his men. And there we go, field gun having a bit of trouble. That's another squad of stormtroopers. And there we go, tactical advance, which increases the amount of burst they do while moving. Though if they stand still, they won't get the effect, by the way, but allows them to do a lot more damage than while moving. They will move slower, but overall they will do more damage. So a little fun fact there.
The sector has been cut off.
Little interesting ability. In this case, though, he did a bit of damage, but ultimately didn't get any kills. The crew is, well, except a few bullets here and there, maybe a missing kidney, doing all right. Second field gun up here. Gaddafi seems to be very much building up. He's worried about enemy armor, and certainly there's the potential of a Sturmgeschütz, Flak Panzer IV, or a Panzer IV generally. Ooh, Maxim is in for some trouble. Though he's got him on hold fire. Bit too late there. And remember, again, tactical advantage, you have to be moving for it to sort of really work. So right there, that was a bit of a misunderstanding there, maybe. Mortar around there might have slightly saved them. Mines going off, they're killing grenadiers left and right. Oh, and he lost a Stormtrooper squad without doing much damage. A huge loss right there to GenObi. Stormtrooper squad, of course, expensive, but at the same time, the assault rifles in particular. And he only managed 3 kills plus the munitions wasted on the tactical advance. So that was a rather nasty blow there, and that should give Gaddafi a chance to really get back, since that was a lot of resources there out the window. There we go, another series of assault rifles there, another series of Sturmgewehrs. No mines over there by the looks of it. And another Stormtrooper squad here called in, quickly infiltrating. The Germans were, by the way, keen on infiltration tactics. Unfortunately, so were the Russians, which they occasionally learned in some rather nasty ways, in particular during the night, where the Russians were really fond of doing it. Little fun fact there. The German infantry tactics generally sort of emphasised, in particular, the Stormtrooper tactics, which were based on World War I, again, sort of sneaking in, finding the weak spots, breaking through them, then sort of bring up heavier guns to deal with the heavier points later on. Also noting, a fuel cache up, by the way, so clearly he's thinking ahead. Even if he's not got any doctrinal armour, that's nice to see. He could soon go for the Panzer IV. There we go. Tactical advance, and, well... Yeah, look at that. We tactically advanced through those Russians. That seems a bit, callous, Fritz. Genovians, the German army. They're not here to hold hands. Now, more to those doing got good job sort of covering a large point. Things a bit more awkward here for Gaddafi. He's trying to advance. Shock tubes up, so that means he's likely going for something. And in this case, he's gone for shock rifle. Also, he had a ton of bulletins for the Panzer Force of GenObi, but not all of them really effective. You better obviously went for the one that actually gave more experience overall. Then he could also have bulletins for other things, so a little comment there, but just my thoughts anyways. Away, Panzerkampfwagen from the navy. Gaddafi striking back there. Assault force attacking from several angles. Pioneers coming from the church there. They were quite considering it might be, you know, safe to use a flamethrower inside a large wooden church. MT-42 coming up from here, leaving this side a bit open for a nice flank. In fact, he could lose on the retreat path. Pioneers also over there. Shock troopers tearing through them with their PP-841s. It looks like they might make it. Very lucky Pioneer there for GenObi. Rather lucky, in fact. We got stormtroopers doing what they can to hold back the Russian advance. Well, they are a bit in trouble. At the same time, though, Panzer Voice starting the further Soviet advance there. Gunny is coming up as well. Field guns are sinking to sort some things. There we go. Stormtroopers are losing out, though. The Dino troops are not exactly winning either. And a Maxim charging straight in here to the Stormtroopers. That could have gone a bit better there. But I'm sure the Stormtroopers are not complaining. So there we go. That went a bit ugly. Pentaman machine gun on the way here. The left side being secured. Gaddafi sort of now probably broken through here the lines, but again, it seems very much he's going to play for that usual stuff of doctrinal playing against again. GenObi might here be able to gain a bit of advantage with his Panzer IV if he plays things correctly. Plus, of course, he can much more safely just go for assault rifles and skip like the mechanized company. So in that regard, I mean, there are some advantages to sort of this kind of sort of meta game at the moment. Now, of course, can he do a lot of damage to his opponent before the heavy armor arrives? And there we go, we've got these conscripts not doing too well there. Gaddafi needs to be careful. There we go. Try an anti-tank grenade, but... And there we go. Did not have the luck of GenObi's Pioneers. So it's a bit of a hefty infantry loss there for Gaddafi. Basically do everything before two Strafnik need to fall back. Quick grenade there, mortar rounds going down, water blowing up spectacularly nicely. And the engineers quickly decide they have other places to be besides that building specifically. But they go Panzer IV charging in, we got the field gun open up, we've got a mine here if it drives into it, that could be GG right there for that Panzer IV at the very least. And a heavy blow there to GenObi's forces. And of course the Hammerköring Fallschirmpanzerdivision. Also a very long name to say. Probably one of the longest named panzer divisions. But the troops had in fact been trained by Fallschirmjäger instructors and the likes. They also had a slight tendency for using Waffen-SS uniforms as well. Little fun fact there. Another shock trooper squad there, so looks like Gaddafi's adding some further heavy infantry. These men don't need to get away. Down to 2 men. And the stormtrooper squad here arriving for some quick harassment. And another series of Sturmgewehrs up here. GenObi's definitely not holding back. That's for sure. Oh, he cancelled it actually. Interesting. Instead going for the other unit. Can't say that's much of a vote of confidence in these gentlemen, though. So we're getting 9, we're not. Have you failed? There you go, the shock troopers man to clear that out. No, those sort of generally the stormtroopers are well pretty much equal to Gunners, except they're harder to kill when they have rifles. So that's about it. Sort of a little fun fact. Maxim cleared out there, and seems like he's using the stormtroopers to recruit those. And he's actually taking up here to the 3rd battle phase. Now that's rare. That's rare. So it might be worth it now with the improved Sturm Panther 4 and of course Panther. Got mortar firing there. Though a bit close to the front line, he might want to pull it back. In fact, again, he sprints a bit too early. So when they finally got it packed up, they're already, you know, run out of sprint. Oh dear, he might... I mean, it was nice that he used to try and flank with the MG42, but he seemed to have forgotten something. So right there, he lost a veteran to MG42. That's not good. I think that could have been handled a bit better there. I mean, really, Gaddafi's strategy getting more and more obvious here as time passes on. He's built up a large fuel cache right now, a fuel store right now. And again, he's aiming for those IS-2s. He really wants to sort of blow up some fascists and their tanks. But the current situation is currently Mr. GenObi here holding a nice chunk of the map. He's about to take up for Panzers. The big stuff most likely. Maybe a Sturmpanzer to sort of further add some fun. He's got several Stormtrooper squads with assault rifles on the way. He's got Grenadiers, Pioneers, Mortars. He's got a nice chunk of the map. He's also got a decent hold on the village at the moment. So overall he's doing pretty well, and certainly going for a Panther would not be a bad idea. The Sturmpanzer 4, considering what he's currently facing, could be a good idea. But again, what he's expecting to face a Panther would be a good start. Then maybe adding in a Sturmpanzer 4 to sort of further clear out the village environments. So that is one thing very much there to consider for GenObi at the moment. A few minefields here and there, but you know, trying to sneak up with the Stormtroopers they equipped with assault rifles could also prove to be quite good in clearing up, say for example, anti-tank positions, if used correctly. But I mean, there's not really much to say else for GenObi. I mean, he's doing pretty well in terms of damage. Gaddafi's actually got a slight advantage, but in terms of kills, GenObi's got noticeably more of an advantage. Popping over to Gaddafi, who's the one struggling a bit more. He's been losing several infantry squads. He's had to replace them. He's sort of a bit behind there in terms of the manpower war, as you might again have noticed. So that's something he needs to sort of look into, in part. And again, he's playing a risky strategy, at least more and more risky, as of course players sort of, you know, take more and more bolder steps to basically cut off and sort of decimate the opponent before they can get out any sort of doctrinal heavy armors. In that regard, I mean, he's going to have to focus a bit more on one part of the map a bit more exclusively, and he's going to need to sort of try and focus on wiping out units fully from GenObi. But of course, I mean, if he can do a lot more damage all of a sudden, I mean, again, it's going to go quicker to the IS-2, and the quicker he can get to that, the better, because he's going to need that very soon to sort of really punish his opponent, wipe out some units, maybe take out that Panther 4. Of course, he's probably not expecting a Panther, and that's due to the metagame, in particular for the Wehrmacht. You generally haven't seen much Panthers in ages, so in that regard, you know, a Panther could really throw things a bit off the rails here for Gaddafi. So of course have to see how this actually works out, but he needs to sort of focus on, I think, this part of the map, maybe slightly harassed towards here, or to consider some more mines around the place would do him quite good. Maybe, I don't know, a single more counter squad or a Stravniki, or maybe even some snipers could help. Then again, with Stormtroopers ready to burst out any door, that might be less of a grand idea. But back to the fight here. Let's see how this evolves. 12 kills there, 10 kills on the Panzer 4. Stormtroopers sneaking up there with their Maxim. Straight into the engineers. But managed to get them. Oh, he lost another Stormtrooper squad there to the mines. The mines really seem to hate his Stormtroopers. That's the second Stormtrooper squad with assault rifles he's lost like that. It's overall not looking too shabbily there for Gaddafi, if you will.
Taking indirect fire.
But that mortar's definitely giving a bit of a headache, and well, he's about to get a bigger one incoming very soon. I imagine his opponent just needs to get the manpower. There goes Stormtroopers versus Shock Troopers. A bit too slow there to activate, and again, you know, they probably should have done it while they were closing in, not while they were standing in front of them. I think he could have done better there instead. Yeah. Didn't quite work out there for GenObi instead working out quite well for this shock troopers there with their body armor and submachine guns, leaving GenObi short of 2 further stormtroopers.
Yes? What do you want, comrade? Engineer standing by.
We're quickly advancing, quickly getting back territory, very close to that IS-2, just need to save us some manpower as well. And next engagement pretty much should get him there. You could also consider trying to rush the mortar.
It is ours.
I mean, if you can get that mortar, that would also be a good move, I would say.
Troops have secured the sector.
There you go, Panzer ready to strike. Shock just looks like in fact they might hit the mortar crew. At the same time, we've got a smaller assault force moving in here to try and push around there the flank.
Ready for deployment.
And there you go, IS-2 ready. He now just needs to wait about a minute. Then he can sort of call it in. The question is, can he hold out for that minute without suffering heavily? And there you go, Granati there for in a bit of trouble.
Our supply sector.
And Maxim here might also be in for a world of pain soon enough.
A sector has been cut off.
No munitions for a grenade, so he goes for smoke, and there we go. Wasted in the end.
AT gun ready. What do you need?
Panzer barging into the village. Shock troopers gunning a 5 field gun, not quite there to cover. He's using the village buildings, probably quite good to sort of try and cover himself with a field gun. There he goes, shot wound off. IS-2 arrived. Heavy armor finally mounted forwards. Panther 4 down to half health. Josef Stalin 2. Very nasty battle here evolving. I was setting up the maximum of the church, by the way. Not necessarily a bad idea.
Taking what we have secured.
And they go trying to flank around. But that flanking assault might have some slight problems in a moment. And there we go. IS-2 wipes out the Pioneers. Almost gets the Grenadiers as well. Got away there with a Flammenwerfer. But I suspect a Panther soon on the way here for GenObi as well. There's been a noticeable fuel drop there. So that would be the first time in quite some while we actually see a Panther in a 1 versus 1 from the Wehrmacht. And it might just have been made more worth it due to the arm increase, so you're less hurting yourself economically.
To crush the enemy.
I'm actually getting a bit more worth out of all the resources you have to invest to get a Panther as the Wehrmacht, which is a lot. Though the fuel cache probably has helped GenObi quite a bit.
We are losing territory.
Stormtroopers advancing, and there we go, we got...
Heavy armor ready for action.
I thought we got it, but apparently he's been shooting at the ground instead. It's apparently a fascist 3, comrades. Kill it! There we go. And there we go. Panzerkampfwagen 5. Panzer. And the fuel cache finally went down. And immediately strikes towards the left-hand side of the map. Not a bad idea. Instead of charging into the village from where they're slightly going to be expecting an assault. Shock troopers again versus stormtroopers. So this time the shock troopers... Well, that was a weird engagement. Panther advances. Mortifying going down. Shock troopers... or stormtroopers running off with shock troopers. Yeah. My large infantry ortling away here. Grenadiers probably hiding here. Good job. He's maybe home to ambush the IS-2. And there we go. One good hit there from the IS-2. Damaging the Panther.
Supply sector under attack.
You might want to focus on the Panther instead of the infantry. Bit of mistake there. Allowed his rear to be penetrated there by the Panzerfaust. That sounds like a Panzerwerfer. And what's this? Oh, he went for it. He's using close the pocket. All of the disconnected territory there's going to get hammered with artillery. Oh Gott im Himmel! Oh ho ho! Panther takes a bit of damage here, but ultimately, I mean, we're just seeing here, Gaddafi's just getting hammered. Stuka's just knocking out everything. And GenObi laughing in a less than noble manner. This is actually the first time I've seen it in use. It's certainly something else. And definitely he pulled it off in a very nice and cheeky manner. It basically works by if you disconnect certain territory then and pull it, it gets heavily hammered with artillery. So you rather need to be able to protect certain vital cut-off points. Though of course once you know that, it becomes a lot harder to pull it off. But clearly Gaddafi was not aware of this potential. So storms to the coast getting wiped out. Can he get the Panther Fort? Oh, he did get the stormtroopers though. As two should be pulled back for repairs. You need to get combat engineers. Absolutely brutal right there. Absolutely brutal. The Germans were quite fond of encircling their opponents. The Russians learned of that and were also quite fond of encircling the Germans. So, little fun fact there. Looks like he's going here on a slight rampage with the KV, hoping to do as much damage here to GenObi as much as possible. And he's actually sending the Panther ahead with only half health. He must be feeling a bit confident here. Oh, IS-2 missed there. Oh, Elite is pushing in the rear. We die like men. Burning and exploding. So there we go, quick raid there by the Panther. Definitely not your usual kind of 1 versus 1 fight.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
I really need to get around to using Close the Pocket myself eventually. So that took a bit out of there of Gaddafi, though he's still done more damage. Oh, he doesn't really seem to get much usage out of his stormtroopers. And that tactical advance. And we got a second Panther arriving. I think a second Panther now is a bit overkill. The Sturmpanther 4 would have done the job just as well versus the remaining infantry largely. I mean, he's still getting some good infantry kills in there with a KV-8, but I don't think it's going to last long here. In the amount of armor, in particular heavy armor, that GenObi's managed to march forwards here to the front line. And now his KV-8 crew's about to get a bit of a nasty surprise there. Back to GenObi. Now we got the Panther 4 joining in. KV-8 kaput. Veterans of the Antagonata member, by the way, but interesting enough, no surviving stormtroopers. Might be something there for GenObi to improve upon. And there we go, using the breakthrough ability, which by the way increases the speed of the unit a bit. Not as much as say they use the Blitzkrieg tactics ability, but just enough to make a difference. But it also, for example, allows them to then decap your territory rapidly. It's a very interesting ability, by the way.
We are losing a sector.
Very interesting. It does cost fuel, so I mean you do have to keep that in mind. But you can't, for example, use it to sort of create a larger blitz force as the Germans. And quickly outmaneuver your opponents. They just use sort of rapidly disconnect and harass a lot of territory. So nice use of the ability there, and I suppose, I mean, in a large extent, this is a very nice sort of show-off of the doctrine here by GenObi. Quiet. But I largely think this is actually it. I mean, that's not really going to match happen here, and as you might have already figured out, Gaddafi's sort of lost. I rather thought they'd show off this fight because, you know, actually shows Panthers being used and actually having an effect. It also shows you a bit, again, the dangers of just relying now on the calling. I mean, it's been harder to do as the Soviets, simply we don't sort of dominate strongly in that regard. You know, also makes it easy to predict and then derail. So I mean, that's rather just an extent what happened here. It also showed some good uses here of the, well, encirclement doctrine. Although I do think, I mean, he could have used his stormtroopers a bit better and his sprint a bit better at times. That was a bit weird, but closed the pocket certainly, you know, well, closed any chances that Gaddafi had of winning this fight. Oh ho, oh ho, oh ho. Oh, that was a witty pun. But I mean, while Gaddafi certainly played nice again, his strategy though was a bit where they were flawed again. He goes for, well, at this point, a rather tired strategy, one that has been heavily predicted so many times by now. They does offer little chance of surprise, and thus also is very, you know, easy to sort of, well, not very easy, but easier to counter if you sort of handle it correctly. And that also is what allowed GenObi to basically skip the second tier, the lighter mechanized company, and just go straight for Panzer IV. I mean, if he'd been any more bold, he'd just gone straight on for an Austrian and just, well, torn right through Gaddafi right there. So I mean, that is something to keep in mind. I mean, the Panthers certainly also did their part, though to a certain extent there isn't really much that Gaddafi could offer sort of in terms of resistance for this fight. So I mean, again, you know, do try to at least, you know, even if you're sort of primarily planning on relying on your doctrine, do try to throw at least sort of a quick curveball in the form of a quick tank, for example, or a quick assault gun or something, so your opponent doesn't quite have an easier time of sort of figuring out what exactly is it you're up to. Because currently, it's again a very tight, overused, almost cliche strategy that the Soviets are playing at, and well, the German players are going to get clever and clever and sort of dealing with it as it just keeps on happening. So I mean, that's rather what is sadly happening here to a certain extent. But again, you know, it showed off some neat units, things here from the encirclement. That's also in part of why I wanted to show it off, particularly because, well, close the pocket. Really haven't seen that one before. So yeah, I thought that was pretty neat and figured some people might also enjoy that. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this fight. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, why not subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If not, send in a replay and provide some feedback in the comments. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers and thank you all for watching.